Wait, just a second. Don't scroll, because what you're about to see was captured millions of miles away, on Mars. And when people started looking closer, they noticed something that doesn't quite fit. And the strangest part, no one has a clear answer. These aren't random images. They come directly from NASA's Mars missions, captured by the Perseverance Rover and the Curiosity rover. Machines built to survive extreme cold, navigate alien terrain, and study an entirely different planet. Equipped with high-resolution systems like MastCam, designed to analyze Martian soil, rocks, and geological history in incredible detail. In other words, they don't miss things. They don't guess. They don't imagine. They record. Every grain of soil, every fracture in rock, every layer tells a story. And yet, this showed up. A small, bright, unusually smooth object resting on the Martian surface. At first glance, it looks insignificant, something you might ignore. But the more you look at it, the more it stands out. Mars is covered in iron-rich dust. That's why everything looks red, rough, and worn down. Rocks here are shaped by millions of years of wind erosion, constant storms, microscopic abrasion, time slowly carving everything into irregular forms. They're jagged, uneven, unpredictable. But this object, it looks different, cleaner, more defined, sharper than everything around it. Almost like it hasn't been exposed to the same conditions, or hasn't been there as long. Almost like it doesn't belong there. And that's where things start to get interesting. Because scientists will say, this is normal, just another rock, shaped by time and environment. And maybe that's true. Mars is full of strange formations. Wind can sculpt rocks into shapes that look deliberate. Light and shadow can create illusions that trick the eye. But here's the problem. Nature usually leaves consistency, patterns that repeat, structures that follow a process, a logic you can trace backward. This doesn't feel like that. It feels isolated, like a single detail that doesn't match the rest of the environment, like a fragment separated from its origin. And when something doesn't match, it forces a question. Where did it come from? Now look at this. Layers of rock stacked over each other, stretching across the terrain. Not random, not chaotic, ordered. This is what geologists call sedimentary rock. On Earth, sedimentary rocks form when tiny particles, dust, sand, minerals, settle in water over long periods of time. They slowly compress, layer by layer, recording history like pages in a book. Each layer represents a moment, a change in environment, a shift in conditions. So when we see formations like this on Mars, it tells us something important. Mars wasn't always dry. There was a time when water existed here, not just briefly, but long enough to shape the surface, flowing, moving, carving paths, depositing material. And we know this because both Perseverance and Curiosity have found multiple signs of it. Minerals that only form in the presence of water, clay deposits, sulfates, rock textures shaped by liquid movement, rounded grains, layered sediments, even ancient lake beds preserved in silence. All pointing to one idea. Mars once had water. And where there is water, there is chemistry, there is interaction, there is change, and sometimes there is potential. Not proof, but possibility. Mars Mysteries, Moon Secrets, Artemis Moon Mission Updates, only on Planet Alive. Subscribe, like, and share to stay connected to space.